Okay, so good day everyone. Welcome to part 2 of the chapter 2 of business combination. So for today, we'll discuss yung provisional amounts. Okay, so like we have mentioned earlier, within the 12 months from the acquisition date, no, the acquirer retrospectively adjusts the provisional amounts for any new information obtained that provides evidence of facts and circumstances. So, yung mga provisional amount, yan yung tinatawag nating tentative amount pa lang na parang nilagay lang pansamantala with, since wala pang available information yung company. And if you gain new information within 12 months from the acquisition date, then pwede mo siyang i-adjust to compute for the new goodwill. But if the adjustment is obtained beyond 12 months, it is accounted for under PAS 8 for your accounting policies, changes in accounting estimates, and error rather than PFRS 3. Let's have this illustration. On October 1, 20X1, ABC Company acquired all the identifiable assets and assumed all the liabilities of XYZ Inc. for 1 million. On this date, XYZ's assets and liabilities have fair values of 1,600,000 and 900,000. For case number 1, so the assets acquired include the building, which was assigned a provisional amount of 700,000 because the appraisal is not yet complete by the time ABC authorized for issue its December 31 FS. The building was tentatively assigned a 10-year useful life and was depreciated for 3 months in 20X1 using the straight line method. And on July 1, 20X2, dun na naka-receive na ng valuation report for the building, which have 500,000 fair value on October 1, 20X1, and remaining useful life 5 years. From that date is 5 years. So, ang unang requirement natin is measurement period. Ano yung measurement period natin? Measurement period is from October 1, 20X1 up to September 30, 20X2. O yan yung 1 year or 12 months from the acquisition date. So October 1, ito yung acquisition date, in-acquire niya yung asset and in-assume niya yung liability. Up to September 30, 20X2, which is exactly 12 months from October 1. So yan yung tinatawag nating measurement date. Ibig sabihin, information no, na na-obtain mo during that period will be used in adjusting the provisional amount. And then letter B, accounting. So, the provisional amount assigned to the building is retrospectively adjusted. Ibig sabihin, babalikan mo yung amount na nilagay mo before. Ang anong kabaliktaran ng retrospective? Prospective. Kapag sinabing prospective, moving forward. Ito naman, moving backward. So, babalik ka dun sa ating October 1, 20X1 even though the date is already 20X2, no? So, ang mangyayari, i-restate mo yung laman ng financial statement mo. So, for example, start tayo sa goodwill na tayo. So, computation for goodwill. Consideration transferred. So, hindi naman nabago yan. 1 million pa rin. And then NCI and previously held, wala namang amounts dyan. So, ang total pa rin is 1 million. And then, ito na adjustment na to when it comes to fair value of net identifiable assets. So, before, sinabi dito, nag-assign siya ng 700,000 appraisal, ang provisional amount because the appraisal is not yet available. So, ang goodwill natin doon is 300,000. But during the July 1, 20X2, nakareceive siya ng valuation report because yung fair value doon ng building is 500,000. So, from that point, 1 million less 500,000, the goodwill is 500,000. So, binago na lang natin yung 700,000, naging 500,000 na yung ating Vivina. So, if we adjust that, then we will have an adjusting entries. So, ano nangyari? Tumaas yung ating goodwill from 300,000 naging 500,000. So, you debit goodwill because goodwill is an asset. Debit goodwill, 200,000. Credit building. Bakit credit building? Kasi 700,000 yung naka-assign na amount ng building but the fair value is 500,000. So, deduct 200,000 then. So, to record the adjustment to the provisional amount assigned to the building. And then, July 1, 20X. So then, retained earnings, you debit and credit accumulated depreciation. Bakit nag-debit ng retained earnings? Diba kung titignan mo, yung ating una, yung provisional amount, 700,000. And then, ang kanyang remaining useful life daw, ang naka-assign tentative is 10 years. And then from that point, na-depreciate daw siya ng 3 months. So, 700,000 divided by 10 years times 3 over 12, that was 17,500. We will compare that with the adjusted amount, which is 500,000 divided by remaining useful life, 5 years. So, 500,000 divided by 5 years times 3 months to, 3 over 12, which is 25,000. Kung titignan mo, you compare 17,500 with 25,000, merong difference na 7,500, which is, ang supposed to be i-record mo na depreciation is 25,000. Pero ang ni-record mo lang is 17,500. So, kulang yung depreciation. And depreciation is an expense. So, kung kulang yung depreciation mo, kulang yung expense mo, ano mangyayari sa income? Sobra. Sobra yung net income. And net income is pasok siya sa retained earnings. Yung retained earnings, ang normal balance niyan is credit kasi yun yung income ng company. But since sobra, ay kulang yung expense, sobra yung net income, so mag-debit ka ng retained earnings. And then yung depreciation din, kulang din ng 75, you credit depreciation or accumulated depreciation. Accumulate. Diba pag accumulate, matadagdagan yung depreciation. Ang normal balance ng accumulated depreciation is credit. So credit, accumulated depreciation, 75. So ganun yun. Okay? And then case number 2, unrecorded identifiable assets acquired. So merong unrecorded patent which was not known on October 1, 20X1. The patent has a fair value of 100,000 and the patent has a fair value and remaining useful life of 4 years as of October 1, 20X1. So same process, ang consideration transferred natin is 1 million pa rin. And then the total is also 1 million. Ang pinagkaiba sa FIVINA ulit. So yung ating previous provisional amount 700, still 700,000. So ang goodwill is 300,000. Anong pinagkaiba naman ngayon? Since hindi na i-record, di ba sabi niya dito kasi 700,000, sorry, diba? Not, which unrecorded. So kasama na dun sa 700,000, yung 700,000 is the total amount. But then, hindi daw na-record yung 100,000. So, kulang yung ating na-record na fair value of net identifiable asset. So, idagdag natin yung patent. So, ibig sabihin, yung from 700,000, magiging 800,000 yung ating FIVINA. So, tumaas ang FIVINA. So, ibig sabihin, bababa ang goodwill. From 300,000, naging 200,000 na lang. So, mag-debit tayo ng patent to recognize the patent since hindi siya na-record. Credit goodwill. Debit patent, 100,000 asset yan. Yung goodwill na asset din, i-credit natin kasi nabawasan. From 300,000 naging 200,000 na lang. And then, as well as the retained earnings. Since hindi mo na-record yung asset mo, which is yung patent mo, hindi ka din nakapag-recognize ng amortization. Bakit amortization ang tawag? Bakit hindi depreciation? Since patent is intangible asset. And kapag intangible asset, ang ginagawa natin is ina-amortize natin. Kapag tangible, yun yung depreciation. So, since hindi ka nakapag-recognize ng amortization, sobra din yung net income mo. So, magbawas ka ulit ng retained earnings based on the amortization. So, 100,000 divided by 4 years times 3 over 12 ulit. Yung 3 over 12, para nakuha yun kasi nag-start tayo ng July 1, 20X1. May nakalipas ng 3 months hanggang October 1. So, July 1, July, August, September 30. So, 3 months yung nakalipas. So, kaya 3 over 12 yung ating amortization dito. So, 100,000 divided by 4 times 3 over 12. So, 6,250 as well as the accumulated amortization, 6,250. Okay. Next, case number 3. Information obtained beyond the measurement period. What if the information is nalagpas na ng September 30, which is the 12 months from the acquisition date? Okay, sabihin natin, November 1, auditor discovered a patent with a fair value of 100,000 was erroneously omitted from the valuation listing on October 1. The patent has a fair value of 100K and remaining useful life of 4 years. How should ABC account for the new information? The answer is, okay, accounted for under past 8 na siya. Because, okay, it is obtained after the measurement period which is hanggang September 30 lang. So magkakaroon ng retrospective restatement, same or the same or similar journal entries. However, merong note disclosure which is hindi siya parehas ng note disclosure. Inonote mo doon na it is obtained after the measurement period, which is makikita na yan dun sa ating notes to financial statement. But yung correcting entries natin when it comes to financial statement, the same pa rin. Next, illustration number 2, provisional amounts naman. Consideration transfer. Ano nangyari dito? Ano yung tinatanong? Compute for the adjusted goodwill. Okay, wait lang. Okay, isa lang yan pala. So, illustration 2, provisional amounts on October 1, 20X1. ABC Company, an unlisted entity, issued 10,000 5 pesos par value shares in exchange for all identifiable assets and liabilities of XYZ Incorporated. Information on acquisition date, the shares issued were assigned a provisional amount of 100 pesos per share. The fair value of some of the assets acquired are not readily determinable. Accordingly, a provisional amount of 700,000 was assigned to XYZ's net identifiable assets. So here are the information. On April 1, 20X2, new information was obtained indicating that on October 1, the fair value of the shares issued was 110 pesos per share, and the fair value of XYZ's net identifiable assets was 900,000. On July 1, two competitors of ABC have also merged. This led ABC to believe that the merger with XYZ is not as profitable as expected. ABC estimates that the valuation of consideration transferred and XYZ's net identifiable assets should have been 900,000 and 400,000 respectively. So, screenshot ko lang, no, ang ating given para hindi tayo lipat ng lipat. Okay? Yan. So, dito, compute for the adjusted goodwill. So, ang provisional amount natin, syempre start tayo sa consideration transfer, which is 10,000. Sorry. Para ba yan? Consideration transferred is 1 million pa rin. 1 million, which is 10,000 times, wait lang, 100 provisional amount. Tama? Okay. 10,000 times 100 is 1 million. And then, ating fair value identifiable asset, 300,000. Ay, 700,000 pala. 700,000. Ito, fair value, 700,000 provisional din. And then, dahil doon, 1 million less 700, makuha natin yung 300,000 na goodwill. And then, nagkaroon ng adjustment. New information ng fair value of the shares issued daw is naging 110. Kaya, 10,000 shares times 110, magiging 1,100,000. And then, fair value of net identifiable asset, 900,000. Saan, paano nakuha? The fair value of net identifiable asset was 900,000. Ibig sabihin, yan is net na siya. Since net na siya, yan na yung Fibina. Unlike dito sa taas, ano pa ba? Wala naman binigsan yung kanina. Ay, ito pala sa July, wag pala. Ito, 700,000. Naging 900,000. So, ang goodwill natin from 300 naging 200. Bumaba din. So, the new information obtained on July 1, 20X2 is not a measurement period adjustment because it does not relate to facts and circumstances that have existed at the acquisition date. However, this may indicate an impairment of goodwill. Ito. Para ito. Yung July 1 dyan, competitors ang pinag-uusapan nyo din eh. So, hindi siya, it does not relate, no, dun sa ating information na kailangan kasi dito. Parang irrelevant na yan. So, pampagulo lang yan. Hindi siya nag-exist nung acquisition date. July 1 na siya, competitors. Wala namang binanggit ditong competitors nung una, di ba? It's all about, provisional amount. Kung kailan nag-acquire siya ng, tawag doon, nung nangyari ng acquisition date. Pero ito, yung two competitors submerged, wala siyang effect, wala kang i-adjust yan kasi hindi naman nangyari yan before the acquisition date or during the acquisition date. Determining what is a part of the business combination. So, ang mangyari dito, letter A, ano ba to? The acquirer considers the following when determining whether a transaction is part of business combination or a separate transaction. So, I will leave you I will leave it to you as your um, reading material. So, basahin nyo yan. And then let's have this illustration, no? So, sabi dito, ABC Company acquired all the assets and liabilities of XYZ Inc. for 1 million. XYZ's assets and liabilities have fair values of 1,600,000 and 900,000. Additional information are here. So, A, XYZ incurred 10,000 legal fees in processing the regulatory requirements for the combination. ABC agreed to reimburse the said amount. XYZ will terminate its activities after business combination. ABC agreed to reimburse XYZ's estimated liquidation costs. ABC will retain former key employees. Agreed. ABC agreed to pay the key employees 100,000 as signing bonuses, pay additional 50,000, and so on and so forth. Start tayo sa consideration transferred 1,050,000. Yung 1 million, which is yung ito, and then dinagdag yung reimburse, 50K additional payment to Mr. Enumerix, which is ito, 50,000, which is a previous major shareholder. Tinawa natin dito kung saan siya papasok. Okay. Ito. A transaction that is arranged primarily for the benefit of the acquiree or its former owners is more likely to be part of the business combination. The transaction price is appropriately included in the consideration transferred. So, sino ba si Mr. si XYZ, mali, ito pala, si Mr. Enumerix is a previous major shareholder of XYZ. So, isa siyang previous owner. So, yung 50,000 is idadagdag natin sa consideration transferred. And then, how about sa fair value of net identifiable assets? 1.6 million. Ito, 1.6 plus 900, minus 900. Anong gagawin natin doon? Yung kanyang inventories taken by Miss Statistics. Statistics, a former shareholder, will acquire title to inventories with fair value of 90,000. Were included. So, tinan natin dito. Negotiation, okay. A transaction initiated by the acquiree or its former owners is more likely yan. Kung nagkaroon ng transaction, yung kanyang former shareholder din. Yung 90,000 minus din yan. Kasi will acquire title to inventories with fair value of 90 that were included in the asset valuation. Kukunin na ni Miss Statistics. So minus 90,000 inventories kasi kinuha niya. So mababawas sa asset ng company. Minus 900,000, 610,000. So ang goodwill natin is 440,000. The reimbursement for the legal fees is acquisition-related cost, expense yan. Liquidation cost is post-combination expense then. Payment to key employees is separate transaction. Okay, kasi for future services siya. And then additional 50,000 payment is included because former owner nga, and inventories are excluded because there are not assets acquired in the business combination. Okay. Itong itong 90,000 nakasama dun sa asset valuation which should not be included kasi nga hindi siya inacquired during the business combination. Pre-acquired rights. Sorry. Wait lang for a while. Okay. A right that an acquirer has previously granted to the acquiree that is reacquired as a result of a business combination is recognized as an intangible asset separately from goodwill. Ano ba yung example ng reacquired rights? So, a right to use the acquirer's intangible asset, just trade name, under a franchise agreement, and right to use the acquirer's technology under a technology licensing agreement. Okay, yun yung pre-acquired right. So, yan. Illustration tayo. Compute for the goodwill. For a while. Okay. So, I will leave it to you as your reading material. Reading material na lang. Okay. Check ko lang. I think malapit natin ito matapos. For this part, I want you to study on this part. So, check lang natin yung ibang part. Ito, punta tayo. The contingent consideration. So, when we say contingent consideration, it is additional consideration for a business combination that the acquirer agrees to provide to the acquiree upon happening of a contingency. When we say contingency is an existing unresolved condition that will be resolved by the occurrence or non-occurrence of a possible future event. So, kapag nangyari yung future event na yun, doon na magkakaroon ng contingent consideration. An example of contingent consideration is when the acquirer agrees to issue additional shares to the acquiree when specified conditions are met, such as meeting an earnings target or reaching a specified share price. So, kapag na-meet mo na yung target mo, target sales, target income doon, contingent consideration magkakaroon tayo. A contingent consideration is measured at acquisition date fair value and included in the consideration transferred. So, idadagdag natin siya dun sa taas, consideration transferred. The obligation to pay the consideration transferred is classified either as a liability or equity. Okay, and then let's have this illustration. Ito po pala. Changes in fair value that are not measurement period adjustment are accounted for depending on the classification. A contingent consideration classified as equity is not remeasured and its subsequent settlement is accounted for within equity. A contingent consideration classified as an asset or a liability is measured at fair value at each reporting date. Changes in fair value are recognized in profit or loss. Illustration number 1, contingent consideration classified as equity. On January 1, 20X1, ABC Company issued 10,000 shares with par value of 10 pesos per share and fair value of 100 pesos per share in exchange of all the assets and liabilities of XYZ. So, ibig sabihin, controlled lahat. XYZ's assets and liabilities have fair value of 16 and 900,000 respectively. In addition, ABC agrees to issue additional 1,000 shares to the former owners of XYZ if the market price of ABC shares increases to 120 per share. So itong additional 1,000 daw is mag-i-issue siya if tumaas to 120 yung market price ng ABC shares. The fair value of the contingent consideration as of January 1 is 90,000. So, the goodwill is computed as consideration transferred 1 million plus yung 90K na fair value ng contingent consideration. Okay? Non-controlling and previously held is wala. Fair value of net identifiable, paano kinumpute? 1,600 less 900,000 pa rin. So, the answer is 390,000. Yan pa rin ang goodwill. Pinagkaiba lang, meron tayong dinagdag na contingent consideration. Journal entry, debit, identifiable assets acquired, 1,600. Credit liabilities assumed, 900. Debit goodwill, 390. And then, i-credit natin yung mga equity instrument, which is share capital always at par, 10,000 times 10. Share premium, 100, yung ating fair value minus the par, 900,000. And then share premium din, yung ating contingent consideration na 90,000. Share premium, contingent consideration, 90,000. Subsequent measurement, case number 1, the market price of ABC shares is 120. So, the contingent consideration is settled on January 15. For December 31, no entry. And then, the January 15, magkakaroon na tayo ng settlement. So, debit share premium contingent consideration, 90,000. Credit share capital, 10,000 times 100, which is always at par. Credit share premium is squeeze amount. So, a contingent consideration is classified as equity, is not remeasured, and its subsequent settlement is accounted for within equity. So, yung 90,000 dito na contingent consideration, ilipat na natin dito kasi isi-settled na natin. Ibig sabihin, babayaran na tayo because nangyari na yung ating what do you call this one? Nag-happening of a contingent contingency, nangyari yung contingency. So, magbabayad na sila. So, wala na tayong contingent consideration. I-debit na natin. Yung share premium, maalis na. And then share premium increase, 80,000. Kasi nag-issue na tayo ng additional 1,000 share. Ito, yung additional 1,000, nag-issue tayo, which is always at par. Kasi nga, ano nangyari? Tumaas na, naging 120 na yung ano. Kasi sabi niya, oh, mag-issue siya daw siya ng additional 1,000. Eh, di ba ang shares is always measured at par? Magkano ba yung par natin kanina? Yung 100 dito. Ito. Ay, 10 para 10 par value. So, i-credit natin yun. Kasi nag-issue ka ng shares. And then, itong share premium na kanina dito, i-debit mo na siya kasi mawawala na yun. Share premium squeeze, 80,000. Case number 2, the market price is 90. So, ano nangyari? Regardless of whether the vesting condition is met, the amount recognized in equity for a contingent consideration remains in equity. However, does not preclude an entity from transferring amount within equity. So, debit pa rin, contingent consideration, 90,000, credit share premium, 90,000. Contingent consideration considered as liability naman. So, ang pinagkaiba lang dito is, ito naman, okay, agrees to pay additional cash equal to 10% of year-end profit that exceeds 400,000. Historically, has reported profits of 300 to 400,000 each year. The fair value of contingent is 10,000 based on assessment. So, ang contingent consideration natin is 10,000. So, yun na yung dadagdag mo. And then, same pa rin yung PV na. So, the answer is 310,000 goodwill. Okay? I think same lang naman. Ito naman, profit is 550. So, ano nangyari doon? Sabi niya kasi ito is exceed 400,000. So, 10%. Okay, ano nangyari dito? Yan. To recognize the loss on change in fair value of contingent consideration as liability. Credit liability for contingent consideration, 5,000. Unrealized loss, P&L, 5,000. Loss siya kasi nagkaroon ka ng liability. And debit liability, credit cash. Kasi binayaran mo yung 15,000 na fair value, which is 550,000 less 400,000 times 10%, 50,000. Magkano ba ang carrying amount magkano ang carrying amount ng contingent consideration? 10,000 lang. Ito, balikan natin. Ito, fair value pala. 10,000 lang. Pero di ba ang babayaran niya is magkakaroon siya ng additional cash. Agrees to pay. Mababayad daw sa ABC ng 10% nung any 10% of the profit that exceeds 400,000. Okay? So, 550,000 minus 400,000, ilan yun? 150 times 10%, 15. Compare natin sa fair value, 10,000. So, carrying amount pala, noong December 31. Tapos, naging 15,000. So, meron tayong increase in liability. Ibig sabihin, tumaas yung liability. Pag tumaas yung liability, loss on our part. So, kaya, unrealized loss, P&L. Okay? Yan. And then, what if 300,000? So, the liability is extinguished because the earnings target is not met. So, wala ng liability. Debit na yung liability, meron tayong gain. So, check ko lang. Okay, that is the summary, no? So, summary na to. So, recall lang natin, the acquisition method applies to all business combination, including those that do not involve a purchase transaction. Kailan nangyayari yun? Kapag without transfer of consideration, if nagkaroon lang ng tumaas lang yung value nung tumaas yung shares nung acquiree. So, ibig sabihin, pag tumaas yung acquiree, bumaba yung denominator, tataas yung percentage mo. By contract alone, pwede, pirmahan lang, walang uh, transfer of shares or walang payment of cash. And then kapag provisional amounts, okay, yun yung ina-adjust mo siya retrospectively if the measurement period is within 12 months. Okay, and then consideration transferred, yun yung binabayad mo if you acquire the asset of the acquiree. And kapag merong contingent consideration, dinadagdag mo yun dun sa contingent. Merong ano yun? Yung contingent consideration, idadagdag mo sa consideration transferred if meron. So I think that will be the end of this chapter 2. And see you on the next video lecture for the next chapter na chapter 3 na tayo. No? So I hope you read your book for more additional practice exercises. Sagutan niyo mga MCQ. And then mag-practice pa kayo how to solve or paano yung mga concept. Focus on the concepts and apply sa mga problems natin. So thank you very much for watching and see you on the next chapter.